Right now, President Trump is in Malaysia for the first stop of his week-long Asia tour.
And the peacemaker-in-chief hit the ground running, already overseeing the signing of the historic peace deal between Cambodia and Thailand.
Lucas Tomlinson is live in Malaysia following the president. Joins us now. Good morning, Lucas.
Morning, Lucas.
Well, good morning, guys, and good morning, Rachel. President Trump beginning his three-nation Asian swing, really four if you want to include Qatar, when President Trump made a brief stop for fuel and the Emir and Prime Minister of Qatar came aboard Air Force One. But let's get to the itinerary. As you just said, President Trump is here in Malaysia today and just presided over a formal peace accord ending the conflict between Cambodia and Thailand. He heads to Japan tomorrow to meet Japan's new conservative Prime Minister, the first female leader of Japan who loves heavy metal, and Margaret Thatcher. Then it's off to South Korea Wednesday. Here was President Trump earlier here in Malaysia.
Today's signing represents just one of 8 conflicts that we've ended in 8 months of the Trump presidency. I'm very honored to have done it. We saved millions of lives. I'm here on a mission of friendship and goodwill, and to deepen our ties of commerce, to strengthen our common security, and to really promote strongly stability, prosperity, and peace for all of the countries in this room and long beyond this room.
Now, here are the details of the accord bringing peace to neighboring Southeast Asian nations. Thailand releases 18 Cambodian soldiers, the removal of heavy weapons from the border region. Malaysian troops will ensure the fighting does not restart. Now, here's a list of the conflicts ended in Trump's second term. Israel and Hamas after the living hostages were released. Israel and Iran, Pakistan and India, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC, Thailand and Cambodia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, Egypt and Ethiopia, Serbia and Kosovo. Now, there's already been at least one viral moment shortly after the president's arrival here in Malaysia, in a scene reminiscent of his arrival in the Middle East in May, Trump doing his famous dance with the locals, and everybody seemed to be having a good time. Now, hanging over this visit to Asia, things get serious. The expected meeting between President Trump and the General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party, Xi Jinping, in South Korea. It's the first face-to-face meeting between global superpowers. Trade and tariffs will be on the agenda, of course, and rare earth minerals. Also, America's soybeans. Last year, China purchased $13 billion worth of American soybeans. This year, 0. Now, in the background, over the past few days, including today, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trump's top trade rep, Jamieson Greer, have been meeting with their Chinese counterparts here in Malaysia. China's leader is not here, of course, Xi Jinping, but those meetings are going on behind the scenes. We should have an update on those talks later this morning, guys.
Lucas.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you so much. This is amazing, of course. President Trump, by the way, about the peace deals that he's done all over the place. He said, I shouldn't say it's a hobby because it's so much more serious than a hobby, but it's something that I'm really good at, and it's something I love to do. And then while he's at it, he takes a jab at the UN, who he's already mad at because they almost caused him to get injured on that escalator up when they stopped it. Somebody did something, and let me tell you, I talked to him after. He was very angry about that. So here's what he says about the UN. But I mean, the UN has such great potential. Wish they could do it, but they didn't get involved with us at all. We just did the deal, reported the deal, and everyone was amazed. So that's what you're getting out of him. I have to tell you guys, he's basically saying we don't need the UN. I got this. And I just keep thinking about him after, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe he should just get into divorce mediation, because the kind of mediation, and
He has experience on all ends.
on all ends of it, maybe he'll be the next divorce judge, you know, television show.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it would be a great
It
reality.
would be a
TV
great
show.
reality show.
Well, and, you know, on a serious note, as we look at the shot of kind of the, you know, the class photo, as they say, and these are all the Asian nations, right? This is the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations. But all of these countries have seen an encroachment of China, a really building up of China in the South China Sea. And so they're looking not to the UN, they're looking to one man to try and align with. And that's why you're seeing Japan, South Korea. These are important stops, particularly in Japan, where the new first female prime minister, Sanae Takaichi, who is this heavy metal drummer that is being compared to Sanae Takaichi.
Yeah.
So impressed. I've actually never been more impressed with you.
But, you know, this dance right here, This was the moment that stood out for me. I mean, that is how he is received around the world. Lest we forget how far we've come when the previous president had a musical dance. He didn't even have to travel. It was just on the White House lawn. And there, it just froze. Completely froze. I mean, it paints a contrast that had Biden stayed in and won, he would be over there at a time when, while you can, laugh at this comparison and contrast, it's also such a serious thing. And President Trump, by the way, Lucas was talking about the rescuing soybean farmers. They're really hurting. On Air Force One, on the way over, he talked about what happens if, for some reason, he can't reach a deal with China. Listen to this.
Will you discuss purchases of Russian oil with Xi Jinping? Are you worried about the Chinese?
I may be discussing it, but China's.
I
don't know. You probably saw it today. China's cutting back very substantially on the purchase of Russia oil, and India's cutting back completely. And we've done sanctions. Thank you very much, everybody. By the way, very, very respectful. I appreciate it.
Mr. President, can you talk about what you hope to walk away from with the meeting with President
China?
Xi? Yes. What are you hoping to walk away?
I think a complete deal. I want our farmers to be taken care of, and he wants things also. We're going to be talking about fentanyl, of course. Fentanyl is killing a lot of people. It comes from China. And we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about a lot of things. I think we have a really good chance of making a very comprehensive deal.
Wow, Charlie, that was a really important point stuck in there. He's getting the Chinese to stop buying Russian oil. Yeah. That is huge. So first, the first thing he was trying to do with all the Ukraine war situation, China aligning with Russia, we brought them together in that war. And then in the peace deal, I think President Trump was trying to bring Russia in, and that's not working. So now he's like, all right, I'll separate China from Russia because he has the economic power and strength to do that, because I think Xi Jinping knows he's weaker than ever, and President Trump will do anything he has to do to win, and they believe it.
Yeah, and part of, I think, President Trump's diplomacy has always been a recognition that America's economic power is even more powerful than our military power. And he's not afraid to use it. And of course, all of this happens at a time where there are rumors swirling around, real concerns about Xi Jinping's grip on power in China, real questions about whether or not, because obviously China has all kinds of problems that we don't know a lot about just because it's a pretty closed-off society, but they have real problems on their hands, like generational problems on their hands. And you know that Trump recognizes all of that and recognizes that he can use this moment where Xi Jinping faces these problems to our advantage, to America's advantage, to the advantage of the world, whether it is dealing with Russia and breaking up that alliance, or dealing with fentanyl, or dealing with trade. And Trump is going to take advantage of every bit of that.
And every time he takes a trip like this, people are reminded, who do you want representing you in these trade deals? Especially. And boy, just think about Kamala Harris there. And by the way, I love the dancing. Thank you for bringing back that old footage. I will do any story that brings back that old footage of Joe Biden. But the footage of President Trump, he's having so much fun.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.